guess about this one. What are the differences between katana and tachi? About Naginata, Tanto, wakizashi, and odachi. So, katana is a normal sword length. Tachi is bigger. Naginata is obviously kind of like, like the crescent moon. It's almost kind of like a long spear, I guess. Tanto, I don't know. Wakizashi, I don't know. Odachi, I think, is like the horse killer kind of sword. It's like literally massive because it was meant to like cut off the head of an horse in one go or something. So it's less like it's used in game a lot, but it's not really meant to be an actual weapon of samurai. It's more like a cleaver, I guess. So yeah, let's learn. Let's ask Shogo, Katana, Budo, and Kimono.
There are mainly 3 different
Oh, I've seen videos from him before, yeah.
differences between the Tachi and Katana. 皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Let's Ask Shogo. Yes, I know, you love katanas too, right? The real katanas are of course beautiful pieces of art, and the ones that appear in anime and manga are super cool. But some katanas, for example, that are used in the Monster Hunter franchise are called tachi, but they look just like katanas. So how are they different? Today, as a katana sword trainee and otaku, I will explain the history of Japanese swords and the 3 main differences between katana and tachi. In the latter half of the video and in the omake talk, I will also briefly introduce the 5 other Japanese swords and about nodachi and odachi too. それでは本日も参りましょう. I like to use the heavy bogan, by the way.
Uchi, katana, and tachi.
So, let's get to today's main topic right away. What are the differences between katana and tachi? Because the word katana can refer to all kinds of Japanese swords in general, let's call it by its official name, uchi katana here. There are mainly 3 differences between the tachi and katana. 1. When they were used. 2. How long and curved they are. 3. How they're equipped and decorated. Number 1. When they were used.
So I'm guessing, yeah, the katana is like the pristine kind of noble one, right? The quality one. And the tachi is probably like a cheaper kind of general sword, I guess.
The tachi was first born in the latter half of the Heian era, and the uchi katana was born afterwards, at the beginning of the Muromachi era. The tachi is a...
This is great because with the recent stream I've done, we know everything about the Heian and Muromachi period now. So I actually know what he's talking about. So it probably means that like at the end of the Heian, yeah, I mean, it was the rise of the samurai, and then Muromachi after, Kamakura shogunate, I guess it was maybe, at the time of the Minamoto and Taira clan, just, making samurai more like respectable with the shogunate, and I guess, yeah, swords becoming more of a status symbol.
Type of katana that is meant to be used on horseback, while the uchi katana is mainly used for battle on foot. As the battle style of the samurais changed from fighting one-on-one on horses to a group of soldiers fighting on land, the tachi was replaced with the uchi katana as the main sword weapon for the samurais. However, regardless of the era, when the samurais fought in war, their main weapons were bows and arrows. So the katana was always thought of as a sub-weapon, used in close combat or when they were out of arrows. In the peaceful Edo period that lasted for 265 years, it was determined by law that the samurais must carry 2 swords, the uchi katana and wakizashi.
Oh yeah, that's why the wakizashi is the short one. That's right.
As a symbol of a man in the samurai class.
Why 2 though? Like, why do you need 2? A short and a long one. Like, why are you not a cool guys if you only have 1 sword? I wonder.
Number 2. How long and curved they are. The tachi and uchi katana are both longer than 2 shaku, But regularly, the tachi is longer and more curved than the uchi katana. This is because, again, they were used in different situations. As explained earlier, the tachi was used on horseback, so it needed to be longer in order to reach the opponent, and more curved to be easily drawn with one hand. On the other hand, the uchi katana was used on land, so it became shorter to make it lighter and less curved. There were even some tachi that were shortened to a size of a uchi katana to be used in the new battle style.
Okay.
Number 3, how they're equipped and decorated. The tachi was hung from your waist using special equipment with a sharp edge downwards, while the uchi katana was slided through the belt of the kimono with a sharp edge upwards. This is because if the tachi was equipped with the sharp side upwards, the metal end of the sheath will hit the horse he is riding, making it impossible to control the horse. However, this wasn't the case with the uchi katanas used on land, so they kept the sharp edge upwards so it'd be easier to use in battle. By the way, this rule applies when these swords are decorated too. So if you see a katana with the sharp side downwards, it is a tachi, and the other way around, it is an uchi katana. The name of the swordsmith or the sword itself should be engraved on the side that it can be seen when decorated. So the right side for the tachi and the left side for the uchi katana.
That's pretty cool.
So now that you understand the 3 main differences between tachi and uchi katana, let me briefly talk about how the 5 other types of katanas come into the story. However, please understand that this classification is just one example. These are the 7 different types of katana in the order of their appearance in history. 1. Chokuto. 2. Tachi. 3. Naginata.
I'm surprised that Naginata is actually considered a katana, but fair enough. Fair enough.
4. Tanto. 5. Uchikatana. 6. Wakizashi. 7. Yari.
I mean, that's just a spear, but okay.
First of all, the oldest type of sword used before the Heian era is called the chokuto, a straight sword with...
Yeah, in some of the video we saw about like Jomon, Asuka, Nara period, they definitely had sword that look a lot more what you think of Western sword, like a Edo sword that's very symmetrical and straightforward. It is interesting when they decided to introduce the curve like that. And obviously, Japan is far from the only country that started doing like curved blade. The Persian Empire, Ottoman Empire, that part of the map, they had a lot of like curved blade too, but in different ways. But yeah, it's interesting that the early Japanese sword were like much more straight.
No curves. Next is the tachi that appeared in the latter half of the Heian era. The chokuto,
which is when the samurai start being a thing. Yeah.
Was used to stab, but because the tachi was curved, it began to be used to slash. The Naginata appeared in the Heian era too. A Naginata is a weapon with a A Naginata is a weapon with a long handle and a curved blade at its tip. But it became one of the main weapons used on the battlefield during the Muromachi era. Next, the Tanto was born in the Kamakura era. The mainly used tachi and Naginata were too long for close combat, so the Tanto was invented to pierce through the gaps of the armor. The Wakizashi.
I still do wonder what the logic was from going to the early design of stabby sword to cutting sword. Like, isn't stabbing better than cutting? Maybe it's because of like armor evolution, but I don't know. I want you to understand, like, obviously armor has also probably like went through a lot of change. But to me, it sounds like it's probably easier to stab through armor than slash through it. And obviously Japan, I don't think they ever had like a chainmail or like metal armor in some of the Western way. But yeah, I don't know, like, I feel like slashing would work less against an armor than stabbing. I don't know, samurais were on horseback, so slashing with a sword is zero. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, just go like this, then, big movements. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess if you're on horseback and you're in a big battle, you're mostly fighting like, the normal soldiers who don't have big armor, so yeah, fair enough. Like, you can just slash them. Fair enough.
Uchikatana and Yari all appeared in the Muromachi era. The wakizashi, a short sword slightly longer than the tanto, was used as a second sword together with the tachi or uchi katana. The yari is a spear that was invented due to the change of the battle style. The naginata is a similar long-range sword, but it was meant.
Napoleon's cavalry used curved sword, not straight. I never thought about that, yeah. That cavalry prefer curved sword because of that. But interesting. Yeah.
To swing around and fight with. But once the samurais started to fight in groups, this style was inconvenient.
Fancy.
Because otherwise, you'll be slashing all of your friends fighting beside you. So the yari used to stab was developed. Then lastly, today's conclusion. There are three main differences between the uchi katana and the tachi. Number one, when they were used. The tachi was born in the Heian era, while the uchi katana was born afterwards in the Muromachi era. Number two, how long and curved they are. The tachi is longer and has a tighter curve than the uchi katana because it was used on horseback. Number three, how they are equipped and decorated. The tachi was equipped with special tools with a sharp edge downwards, while uchi katana was held through the belt of the kimono with a sharp edge upwards. This rule applies when these katanas are decorated too. There are 7 types of Japanese swords. 1. Chokuto. 2. Tachi. 3. Naginata.
Let's get as we know the song.
Tanto. 5. Uchikatana. 6. Wakizashi. 7. Yari. They were developed due to the change of how samurais fought in battle. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you learned something new about the history and culture about Japanese katanas, just hit the like button to let me know. My goal is to achieve 100,000 subscribers by January 2022, so your help would mean a lot. Thanks again.
And I'll see you
in my next video. どうもありがとうございました。
So fake ending? Omake talk, okay?
Everyone, once again, thank you very much for watching this video and welcome to the Omake Talk. So as I promised in the very beginning, I like to talk a little bit about the Odachi and Nodachi too. So first of all, the Odachi and Nodachi, they're both very famous terms to represent a kind of katana, but they're actually the same. Odachi and Nodachi represent the same kind of katana.
Okay.
So we usually say Odachi more. O means big, so a big tachi, yes, very simple. As I explained in the video, the uchi katana and the tachi were both longer than 2 shaku, which means it's longer than 60.6 centimeters or 23.7 inches. The odachi is actually must be longer than 86 centimeters, which is about 33 inches. So it's obviously very, very long. The odachi, as far as I've done some research, it seems they existed from around the end of the Kamakura era and was mainly used during the beginning of the Muromachi period. So that would be the time when the samurai still fought on horses one-on-one, when the tachi and the naginata, as I explained earlier, was mainly used. The reason why they started to use such long and huge swords, I mean, it looks a little bit inconvenient, right? It seems that it was mainly, of course, it was for being able to reach your opponent easier, of course, but also as a way to kind of, for the samurais, kind of show off their pop.
Look at how big my sword is. That's basically what it is, right? I remember, like, I don't know if you guys have ever played, there's a pretty interesting, even though very flawed, game series called Way of the Samurai. I think there's 4 games. They're games with like, tons of endings, so they're not very long. And you usually start as like some running, I guess, and you have to just, you have many different things that you can do, and different paths you can take from like, different stories. It's kind of like a semi-open world with like a ton of choice matter stuff. And I think in the second or third one, well, maybe in most of them, but the second or third one, especially, I remember like using this kind of sword, and obviously they're so big that the guy is like, very slow at swinging them, but the damage is kind of massive. And I always felt like it was more like, again, like, not something actually used in battle, but it's cool for video games or anime, right? Like the concept of the sword that's like so big. But yeah, from what he's saying, it was actually used, so I was wrong.
Power, like economical power, financial power, kind of. It seems it was mainly like that, yes. And the skills, of course, to make these katanas, these very special long katanas, were very difficult because they're super long, but you need to make them to be light and easy to handle. So they need to make the blades very thin. They need to carve a gutter through the blade to make it lighter. And of course, the people who can use it was very rare too. I mean, you would need a lot of skills and techniques and a lot of strength.
Just do some stories, bro.
Strength to be able to
You need to
handle
bulk
it.
up,
So
bro.
Odachi is quite rare. Yes, and lastly, I found some really interesting information about the longest odachi that still exists in Japan. It's a katana that is at Yamaguchi Prefecture, which is my last name actually. It's the prefecture on the west side of Hiroshima, my home city. There is a tachi called Haja no Ontachi, which is...
Okay. I mean, this was just some guy trying to, he had a size problem and he wanted to make it the biggest one he could. Ain't no way anyone is swinging that. Actually, I guess you could, if you like start spinning. Like if you start spinning like a Beyblade, I guess the momentum might make you able to hold it. Maybe. But, damn. That's something.
345.5 centimeters long. 345.5 centimeters will be 11.33 feet.
It's the equivalent of like riding around like this big amount
as you can see in the picture here, it's unbelievably long. Yeah, it's unbelievable how long it is. But this katana, though, it wasn't actually used in a battle, though. It was katanas were originally a kind of weapon that can be dedicated to God as well, so this katana was meant for that as well. It was made at during the end of the Edo period, during the westernization period, it seems. And yes, I think that's the story about the odachi. And some series say about how you would handle it, not on your waist but like on your back, but that seems differed on who used it. Some samurais would still hang them from their waist, some people had them on their backs, but it was very rare though to be able to handle such a big weapon. Yes. All right, so everyone, thank you so much for watching this video.
I mean, you need to be Andre the Giant to swing this around, yeah. Okay, interesting video, despite all the interest I've had, into samurai stuff for such a long time. I never knew the detail between, katana and tachi, yeah? Tachi. So, tachi are just like early katana, I guess is an easy way to put it. Fair enough. Yeah, and obviously there's more details to it, but if I want to make it easy for me to remember, yeah. Fair enough. Very interesting. Very interesting. Here's the link. Very interesting. I learned a lot.